This is Beaverton, Oregon. It's within this wooded, comparatively quiet Portland suburb where Nike's been headquartered since the 70s. It's here on this 400-acre campus, replete with a jogging trail, a running track, a soccer pitch, a basketball gym, a research lab, and countless office buildings where Nike is desperately trying to get their business back on track. Peaceful on the outside, panic is mounted within the company as it loses market share in the athletic shoe market it helped pioneer. Bungling launches and failing to innovate, America's largest shoe company is in a funk. While 67% of the company's total revenue comes from shoes, nowhere on this campus will you actually find a shoe factory. Nowhere in the US, nor the world, in fact, will you find a Nike-owned shoe factory because Nike's not a shoemaker. Its business is more abstract. The company's SEC filings will tell you it's not a shoe company at all, but rather list the Nike and swoosh design trademarks as its most valuable assets. To Phil Knight, the company's founder now in his late 80s, Nike's business is inspiring and innovating for athletes, while the filings call it a company that provides design, development, and worldwide marketing and selling of athletic footwear, apparel, equipment, accessory, and services. In other words, Nike's not a shoemaker, but a tastemaker. And taste-making, when it comes to shoes, is a pretty fickle business. Shoes are tools, but not just for walking and working. A study by researchers at the University of Kansas has shown that when subjects are just shown someone's footwear without any other context, they're able to guess with fairly high accuracy the age, gender, income range, and even personality traits and political leanings of the person in question. The finding only backs what consumers already knew, though. People judge based on shoes and recognize they get judged based on shoes, so they make shoe choices to cultivate an image or tell their own personal story, whether that be who they are or who they aspire to be. Extroverts will reach for norm-disrupting red shoes, while those hoping to—
Most of the time, chat, if your shoes tell a story, you're kind of goofy. You're kind of goofy.
Not stick out will prioritize
it's cool to have like some cool shoes to wear sometimes, whatever.
One way or another, but we use shoes to understand others, and so we in turn select shoes to help frame how people think of ourselves. Shoe and shoe selection
most of the
tell stories,
centerpiece
and
shoes
Nike
look ugly.
used to be the best storyteller. If you don't know the story of Nike's rise, it's laid out across the map of the company's campus. At the end of one Bowerman Drive, named after the company co-founder, on the shore of Lake Nike, neighboring the Michael Jordan and John McElroy buildings, and across from the Ronaldo Field, is Steve Prefontaine Hall, appropriately at the core of the campus. Few characters embody the Nike story like Steve Prefontaine, or Pre, and that's by design. Before Nike was a giant, before it was even called Nike, it was little more than the young, ambitious Phil Knight, a lifetime runner himself, importing sleek Japanese running shoes. It was a disruptor, a plucky underdog, a fighter looking to carve out just a bit of market share in a nascent American jogging boom at the beginning of the 1970s. At about the same time that Nike started gaining momentum, a scrappy runner from an old coastal logging town in Oregon was beginning to rise. Prefontaine ran distance events for the University of Oregon under coach Bill Bowerman, who was also designing running shoes for Nike. As Pre began to establish himself as America's best distance runner, it was only natural that he joined the brand. But Pre's central to Nike's rise, not just because he was good at track, but because of how he went about being good at track. Prefontaine won a host of collegiate titles, he set American records, he went to Munich in 1972 to represent the US at the Olympics, he was an undeniable talent. He was also a character. He was a working-class kid from a tough industrial town, he was small, scrappy, handsome, and brash, he was cocky, but he backed it up with a work ethic that's still revered in American running culture. He appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 19. His rate—
I think the two biggest things for Nike, chat, was one, Michael Jordan, and two, Nike SB. That's it.
Races were aired on national TV. His Go Pre t-shirts became so popular they were met by a
Without
backlash of Stop Pre shirts. He was an American star, and he Nike.
Going up for sure.
When signed to the company, Pre repped Nike shoes at run clubs and public meetups. He traveled to high school and college programs to demo them. He sent them to friends and rivals around the world. He pushed the product.
Does Ronaldo even wear Nike?
A brash upstart of its own embodied the kid's spirit. Nike was doing it their own way too, with shoes that pushed the boundaries, first with the Nike Cortez that added midsole cushioning for runners. They then took the technology another step forward with the Nike Waffle Trainer, designed to be lightweight and grippy while staying comfortable and padded. Ultimately, a fatal car crash claimed Pre before he was able to wear his own signature shoe, the Pre Montreals.
Chat, Nike SB took over skateboard. I think there's a big portion of it. and also fashion. I mean, that was, to me, it was kind of crazy.
But his indomitable spirit had
At first, I was
catalyzed
doubting
a
it, but then
movement.
it went crazy.
Title
Is what it
IX and
is.
televised track races and marathons helped spur a running boom that saw an estimated 25 million new runners enter the scene in the US across the decade.
Bro,
and
man is saying nobody cares about skateboard when skateboarding, outwear and clothes are literally still the foundation of clothing. Most clothes you wear right now were at one time a skateboard-oriented clothing. Absolutely, without any doubt.
They
Anybody that
want
says
to
that
be
I'm wrong
like
is
Prima.
fucking brain dead.
They went with Nike.
That's
The upstart
crazy.
all about running
That's
and innovating
crazy.
comfortable shoes that were also worn by the most iconic and inspirational runner the US had produced. The running revolution transformed the American shoe landscape too. As running took off and the shoes became more comfortable, it became okay to wear trainers not to train, but in everyday life.
Example:
At the beginning,
the double shirt, the oversized shirt, most of the baggy early on, especially at a time where people weren't wearing that. It broadened and it pioneered for sure. Oh, I can't. This chat knows nothing. It's insane. I
only
can't.
accounted for 1 in every 12 pairs sold. By 1979, it was 1 in 4 pairs. The shoe game had transformed, and Nike was in the middle of it. By 1980, Nike made up 50% of all running shoe sales in the US and was quickly closing the gap on Adidas in total athletic shoe sales. And with the success of the pre-partnership, Nike now had a model to grow into other spaces too. It recognized a trend, in this case an uptick in running and jogging in the US. It found
just the
someone
air
who
getting
embodied
hotter.
the movement, and then it leaned into it, creating further demand and momentum within the movement. It recognized what was becoming cool and helped make it cool at the same time. But fashion changes fast, and in the 80s, culture went.
You say surf, but surf was early, super early on. Surf became skateboarding, and that's gonna where it went though. You can't just say surf without skateboarding, bro. Skateboarding was born from the surfing culture, and it carried on that, and it expanded that tremendously.
Urban. Jogging shoes weren't cool.
It's how it
basketball
began, you
shoes
fucking
were.
moron.
It caught Nike flat-footed, reporting its first losses in 1984 and sending it scrambling to reinstate Phil Knight's active control of the company to fight back on the encroaching Converse, New Balance, and Reebok. Nike had the model, but neither the shoe nor the athlete. Then it set its crosshairs on a young, promising player in Michael Jordan. While the legacy may speak for itself today, as Michael Jordan would become the best basketball player in the world, and the Jordan brand, a branch of Nike, would itself become one of the largest shoe brands in the world, this strategy at the time was extremely bold.
Chat.
Not the first
Not even rage bait. Most Nike Airs are straight goofy. Most people that wear them look fucking silly, and it's shit.
pick in the draft and
I
playing a
don't- I
position
don't care.
not
I don't give a
associated
fuck.
with basketball
They look
dominance,
so
Jordan
goofy,
was hardly aloft
it's
to be
hard
the
to
face
look
of
at.
the league when he went into the National Basketball Association. Nike was making a bet on upside. Without a past in basketball shoes and far behind the Converse and Adidas basketball brands, they had to be bold to compete and creative to find a niche to gain a foothold in the space and to convince an entirely unconvinced Jordan to even join the brand in the first place. They melded bold and creative with a shoe design
first
and
they're
marketing
okay, yeah.
campaign all in one. At the time, basketball shoes to be worn in the NBA had to be 51% the color white. But Nike had an idea. Make a flashy, colorful Michael Jordan shoe, ignore the rule, and simply deal with the consequences. It'd be worth the visibility regardless, it'd fit the brand, and it'd excite the player. In 1984, a rookie Michael Jordan took the court with shoes that intentionally broke the rules, and Nike paid the $5,000.
These are usually goofy. Bro, it's like when you used to skate and they'd wear these big ass Osiris. And like, oh yo, this is fucking hot. No, you look goofy. Like, yeah, I some pairs are okay, but yo, this is the Osiris, literally. This is the globe.
genius.
That's the globe of
Ultimately,
skating.
he only wore them
Holy
on 3
shit, I just
occasions
locked
that
in.
season as
The
NBA
globe.
promised to make a stronger stand on the issue should it persist, but 3 times proved plenty. They pushed the Jordan 1 on the message that not only is this your new favorite player's shoe, it's a shoe so radical in counterculture, it's banned from the game it's designed for. The shoe, in turn, sold out
I had
immediately
flat
and
Etnies
totaled
or Lakai or
$126
fucking-
million in sales.
No
in
DC,
its
we can
first
afford that
year.
shit.
Nike stuck to the same playbook as they grew into other realms. It was Prefontaine and running in the 70s, it was Jordan and
VVS.
basketball in the 80s, it was Tiger Woods and golf in the 90s, Serena Williams and tennis alongside Ronaldo and soccer in the 2000s. Nike became the world's biggest by backing the mold breakers and acting like they were the bold up-and-comers themselves. They had an edge. They were for winners. They didn't make excuses, they just did it. And customers took it hook, line, and sinker. But a problem, and a fundamental one at that. When a company is born out of the idea of a scrappy underdog disruptor, but succeeds to the point where it's now the industry leader, it's hard to maintain that same identity and relentless drive.
Yep, chat. My problem is that they try to be everything, everybody. They tried to please everybody, and they lost who they were. Now it's like, I'm not gonna buy this. Now it's like, everybody has every possible option. It's like, okay, now I want something that is solidified into one thing. Now I'm looking at something that is, oh, I want to be part of this instead of the opposite, where you're given anything that you want. That's bullshit.
Fast forward to the
It hurts the brand,
2026
man.
Winter Olympic Games. What you see is Team USA covered head to toe in Nike. But this isn't a picture of Nike's maintained dominance. Rather, it's what the company hopes will be the beginning of a comeback story. These American athletes are wearing a Nike sub-label called
shoes, these
All
are
Conditions
awful.
Gear, or ACG, and the fact that this hasn't reached name brand recognition across a public audience highlights one of the brand's many fumbles in the past 20 years. The running shoe market has taken a unique
The
path
Nikes are pretty
in the
good,
last
but
decade. Running shoes of
full
all
clunky.
sorts are as popular as ever, but trail running shoes, a comparatively rugged
Like, this is awful, dude. Like, just stop it. Like, this is god
off-road options are
abysmal.
especially hot. While trail runners make up a fraction of total running shoe sales, a number cited at 12% in 2022, they're steadily outpaced
I want orange with the bullshit and and I want the. They should say, "Hey, sir, fuck you." Should say, "Hey, yo, customer, get the fuck out of here." Give them a product that's we're doing this. You're buying this, or you're going to the other people. Go to Adidas. You go to some clown shit. And you know what? The reality is that they would sell more shoes. They would actually end up selling more.
Projected annual compound growth. Running shoes are in, but trail runners are even more in. And just as trainers, basketball shoes, and running shoes found their way into casual fashion in the past, now so too have trail runners. Brands specializing in maximally cushioned trail shoes like Hoka have wormed their way into everyday shoe rotations for service jobs and weekend chores alike. Solomon's rugged mountain running shoes have unexpectedly become popular with Gen Zers in the urban environment of New York
I
City.
can't. We fell
It goes
off as
further,
humanity.
too. This outdoor gear popularity has a
Like, dude. This light blue jeans combo with running shoes is a shit. This has never been good. Back in the days, that's how you get tripped down the stairs at school. That's how you get put into the fucking lockers. If you're wearing some jeans and running shoes, you a bitch.
outdoor gear
It's just
popularity
that
has
simple.
expanded beyond shoes. It's called Gorpcore. It's led to urban fashion and urban celebrities turning to outdoor brands and their Gore-Tex offerings to establish today's taste. It means a big uptick in sales for trail running suppliers, of which Nike is desperately trying to catch up by relaunching its outdoor line in 2026.
Yo, I would wear those busted ass fucking DVS or whatever, and you could literally see my toes. Not only were the shoes scuffed on the side, right? There's a hole on it because you skate. There would be holes in all my socks. You can literally see my toes all the time.
Yes.
All
What's
the time.
glaring is not only that Nike
it's
is
some
late
real
to the
shit.
trend, but
You
the
know,
fact that this
if
is
you're
a
a
trend
skater, you
they
know
helped
your toes are
establish,
fucking
but
out, man.
lacked the vision to see through. Nike launched its first trail shoe in 1984, it launched ACG in 1988, and it helped invent the trail shoe, taking the tread of hiking boots and matching them with the
53
uppers of running shoes.
xQc.
It was a visionary in the technology, and it began to build out the
Go
style
some
too,
tum now,
blending
some tum-
performance
okay.
with the signature Nike brashness. The color, the prints, the fun that the outdoor space lacked. But in the 2000s, they let the branch wither on the vine. The lack of follow-through and vision became a theme. This is Nike's total market share of athletic shoes in 2000. It holds a dominant 42% of
That's
all
actually kind of
sales
insane. Hold
and
on.
outpaces its next three largest competitors combined. And this is what its market share looked like in 2022.
That's still fantastic. Chat, straight up, I gotta be honest with you, that's still pretty insane.
With the Jordan brand under the Nike umbrella, it still maintains a similarly strong 36% market share. It still outpaces the next three largest brands in the space combined, but market share serves as only a freeze frame in time. It doesn't consider momentum.
Nikes are goofy. Yo, buddy, these are slip-ons. I don't give a fuck. Okay, you act like I buy shoes. Oh yeah, I want this, bro. This is some shit I got, bro. Like 5 years ago. I don't care. Okay. Although these are fucking hard though. These are straight. Yo, these are Celine's, buddy.
And these brands that are beginning to claw away market share are making big moves. Hoka, New Balance, Saucony, Puma, and Asics are some of the names, along with Brooks and On, that are leading the charge in the specialty running market. Now, specialty running shoes is a rather vague term, but effectively it's a host of brands that are innovating hard into specific niches. More broadly, it can be understood as companies that are out-innovating Nike. In specialty running shops, stores with educated staff selling running shoes to runners,
I just don't
essentially
show it
the
to
simplest
you.
way to understand runners' preferences, Brooks and Hoka lead the way and account for almost half of sales. New Balance, On, and Saucony make up the next 29%, while Nike,
Those are comfy,
which
I
has
guess.
pivoted away from in-store sales and de-emphasized running across the board, sat at less than 5%. In speed, a category Nike running once dominated with its Vaporfly line that became the world's fastest road running shoe,
Chat, nobody wants to look like they're fucking walking on a banana. But you're walking on a fucking banana.
Nike has been caught by
it's
Adidas
dog
and
shit.
in the lab
This
passed
is
by
what I
Puma.
think.
In
Is the
comfort and
reason you
cushioning,
haven't
concepts
been doing
foreign to running
MCU
shoes prior
runs
to
is
Nike,
because you know the record is out of
it's
reach.
been overtaken
true.
by
I
the
wasn't sure.
maximally supportive Hokas
Than
and
you.
corrective
He is
Brooks
willing to
shoes,
play
both
non-stop
popular in
for
running, but
months.
also brand
And where-
leaders for on-your-feet type jobs like hospital work. Even in unapologetically bold design, Nike's been passed by
Says you
On
banana
running.
boy lol.
A Swiss shoe recognizable for its cloud tech that's equally eye-catching and pleasingly comfortable, the story of On's come-up feels reminiscent to that of Nike's. Rather than using a waffle iron to create a
Yo, okay, buddy, what the fuck are those? Are
kind
we
tread,
dead
On's founder
ass?
Oliver Bernard, a triathlete, couldn't find a shoe that would properly address some lingering Achilles pain, so he set out to create something new. In 2010, the concept of cloud tech was born when Bernard attached a bisected bit of garden hose to the heel of his shoe. Before deciding to build a brand around the idea, he took it to his sponsor, who ultimately turned the idea down. The sponsor was Nike. Nike missed on, and fell behind across the board in running because it had spent much of the last decade putting out fires. In 2004, Nike did
Put out what?
something it hadn't done before. It brought in a CEO from outside the company, and it paid for that decision. While William Perez only lasted 2 years as CEO,
Fires.
it set Nike back. Data-driven, rather than the gut-feel, future-forward approach that defined the company, Perez focused his efforts on sales in the present rather than era-defining innovation. Replaced by Nike lifer Mark Parker, Nike would regain its bearings, but it'd have to navigate some scandal too. Tiger Woods' public marital issues in 2009
We don't
and
care.
Lance Armstrong's doping in 2013 put the giant in PR.
We don't care. Okay, nobody gave a shit. Tiger Woods is Nike, and people still bought it. People didn't. Oh my God, he DUI me, stop by. No, well, nobody did that shit. Nobody did that. Nobody thinks like that. Like, people's interpretation of the market and what the market actually is two completely different things. Okay, they say, "Oh my God, it's gonna hurt." Bro, nobody. Bro, he was wearing this fucking whatever polo shit. She was out of stock the second he got fucking caught with the DUI wearing this shit. The guy was wearing a shirt. The second he got caught with DUI, it flew off the shelves. They're back ordered for fucking 10 years. Who are we talking to?
Position difficult to innovate from. And even in the spaces they continue to push innovation, distance running in particular, scandal rocked the company. The immensely successful marathoner, then marathon coach Alberto Salazar, was so central to the Nike distance running project that he had a building named after him. But that changed first with allegations of his athletes doping, then an investigation into the issue that saw Salazar banned, and finally athlete allegations over abusive conduct from the disgraced coach from 2015 to 2019.
Yo. Even Maduro, the Venezuela president guy, bro was wearing a fucking Nike tracksuit, flew off the shelves. That shit was out of stock everywhere. Flew off the shelves. Everybody bought that shit. They don't care. They buy
At
it.
the same time, the company faced a sexual discrimination lawsuit alleging that the boys' club culture of the
Bang!
company had resulted in discrimination, retaliation, and unfair wages across sexes. The two scandals ultimately culminated with Parker
Oh my
stepping
God,
down as
bruh.
CEO.
Buddy, this is
Weighed down by an
drip.
increasingly tarnished-
Buddy, you wouldn't get it. You're looking at Drip Lord himself. Buddy, you should ask fashion advice from the Lord. That's Drip.
reputation, Nike began looking backwards instead of forward, and again brought in leadership from outside the company. This time, it was John Donahue at the helm, and with a mandate to build out the company's digital footprint, he played the hits, and at first it worked.
That's
Nike
fucking
went direct to consumer right as
that's
COVID hit,
hard.
and right as a much-anticipated Michael Jordan documentary debuted during the pandemic, they
Holy
pushed
shit, I
the
can't. I got so
Jordans
much
and
drip, I
Air
can't.
Force lines. Sales boomed for the moment, but innovation flatlined, relationships with shoe carriers and wholesalers soured, and Nike's ceded shelf space just as in-person shopping roared back to life. It's since navigated the company's worst day in 2024 as stocks dropped 20.
The only thing I'm mad at Nike is that their fucking t-shirts are garbage. Like, I don't care about the whatever, shoes, whatever. How is it to make a fucking t-shirt, just a t-shirt, and make it, just put it, put the one for running, put the one that's whatever fit, put like, bang, black, white, move on. Oh, you want yellow? Fuck you. Oh, you want green? Dude, get the fuck out of my store. Hey, buddy. Oh, you want orange? No, get the fuck out of my store. It's that simple. Buddy, black, white, or suck it. It's that simple.
Then reported
I'm
its
gonna buy
worst
your
fall
shit.
revenue in 2025 with an 11.5% year-over-year drop. Nike had bottomed out because in a business of storytelling, it had lost its own plot. It was no longer making shoes for the future, it was relying on those from the past. It was no longer producing an image or a product that people could trust. It was no longer the scrappy win.
Like, buddy, you wouldn't catch me fucking
no longer producing
dead wearing this shit. Buddy, what the hell? How do you match this with other pieces of clothing? It has a bunch of different textures and different materials and even motifs and color combos. Buddy, what do you put this in with, man?
An image or a product that people could trust. It was no longer the scrappy winner. It was the bloated institution so scared of failing. Never in its history has Nike felt like something of the past until the present, as athlete after athlete has turned away from the brand. But now Donahue is gone, and in his place is Elliott Hill, and he knows the company's story as well as anyone. Starting as an intern at Nike in 1988, there's company-wide hope that Hill can get Nike back to what it was best at. And so far, there's reason for some guarded optimism. The relaunch of ACG has been a shot in the arm, while Hill has pushed hard to get Nike back.
On everybody's soul, we're just waiting for the Vivid drop on shoes, and we're buying that shit off the shelves. We don't care. We're buying all of it.
Back into the wholesale game.
We are waiting.
Back on shelves. Relationships are on the mend too, as the new CEO has taken off on business trip after business trip to mend relationships between some of the sport's biggest names and biggest brands to ensure they
Like, buddy, you're wearing a banana.
to mend relationships between some of the sport's biggest.
You're wearing a slice of mango with a banana peel. Like, who are we? I can't.
Biggest names and biggest.
Like,
brands.
look at this shit, buddy. You look like a leprechaun. You look like you're looking for the fucking end of the rainbow. You look like you're looking for a pot of gold. Buddy, you're looking for your Oompa Loompa.
Swoosh. Time will tell if these relationships can hold and if Hill can build back consumer trust that's waned over the past 10 years.
Look at your head.
But at its core, the company might be back, as it's finally finding its fight again. When we're putting these videos together, what can also prove to be a fight is finding the right clips and footage that helps tell the story we're trying.
I really like those videos and those guys. If I were to give some positive feedback about this video, I would put segments in the video on this, that like almost like chapters, and really hone in on what the point is of that particular segment, guys. Because otherwise it kind of feels like a big lump, and it's hard to digest because you don't know where the separations are with the arguments or whatever, and you kind of lose track of it. And it's important to have like kind of like a early era, bang.
You wear a
Next.
banana peel on
New,
your head
bang.
350
Lacking
days
innovation,
of the year.
bang. Example.
Upside down
Next. You know what I mean?
broomstick headaches.
All right.